Grab my phone. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. It's your boy, the Admiral of this pirate voyage, Robbie J. And of course, I almost forgot my own damn name. Wow, that's live.
Bro, you know you're in bad shape when you do that.
Last night was crazy, dude. Last night was crazy. I'm just gonna roll right into my special guest introducing Edwin, the fantasy student doc, the student doc. How's it going, bro?
It's going, man. Sunday morning, made some pancakes this morning, hopped in the shower, ready for some NFL talk, ready for some injury talk.
You had
some hip hop talk, maybe. We'll see.
Oh yes. Speaking of which, the way that this collab came about was you had tweeted out something along the lines of who's better with like flow and consistency, and the options were Andre 3000, Biggie, and who was the other one? Jay-Z. And I picked Biggie out of the.
Of course you did. Of course you did.
Yep. And now here we are.
The rest
who knew that hip hop? Who knew that a hip hop tweet would get you booked?
Dude, that tweet has like 600 votes on it at this point. I don't know, something crazy. Like people are nuts about their hip hop. Like a lot of people were responding to with like their own. Most of the ones that people talk about are like or mention the most is Tupac and Nas, which I get that a little bit. Yeah. But then you got people saying like Drake and like somebody who. I mean, Cross One is fine. Whatever. I don't even know how to say it. Am I saying that right? Cross One. Yeah, I don't know. But hey, people are into it, man.
Yeah, dude. What's funny about that is let you tweet something conversational like that, but then let it be, hey guys, support my business, subscribe to my channel.
Right, exactly. Anything that has to do with forking over a little cash or something, not happen.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious. We're gonna dive right into it, guys. You guys pretty much know the structure here. We're gonna go game by game, matchup by matchup. We will be joined by another guest from another podcast, the Fantasy Fam, later on in the show. But we're just gonna kind of get it kicked off because I know a lot of y'all got money on the line.
Oh yeah,
guys. By the way, send over your testimonials if either of our shows help you guys win your fantasy football playoffs. Let us know. Send us a little something, a little tweet or a little note. That stuff always helps us. It makes us feel good, and plus, it makes us look good.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely right.
Your success is our success.
Absolutely, 100%, man.
Let's see. Wow, we actually have our first question before we actually get into our first game of the morning. Miami Canes Productions, if you are new, subscribe to the channel. Asks, this is my first year using fantasy football. How do the playoffs work on ESPN? It has 2 weeks. Edwin, you want to kind of start that one?
Yeah, so it depends on how many people are in your league. It depends on if you do 1 or 2 week playoff format. So generally speaking, I think the default on the ESPN app is 4 teams. You have a semifinals and a final, so you just go week 15, week 16. You go 1 week. You could go down the rabbit hole of like customizing it, making it how you want, adding teams, taking teams away, buys and stuff like that. But if it's just 2 weeks, it's more than likely 4 teams in the playoffs, and you do 15, 16 semifinal, final week.
Exactly. I'm fortunate enough to where mine are not set up in 2 weeks anymore. That was hell competing that way.
With just 1 week playoffs.
Yeah, now
that's brutal, man. So my main league, my money league, whatever you want to call it, we expanded to 6 teams, and instead of doing 1 week, we just use when playoffs start, previous week's score plus your week's score. Take away some of that randomness a little bit, and that way you're not, like you said, it's not like all or nothing basically with just a 1 week matchup.
Exactly. Wow, we're getting questions rolling, and we haven't even gone to the first game. For my wide receiver 2, do I start Anthony Miller or Zach Pascal?
You go ahead, man. What do you think?
So Anthony Miller, playing up there in Lambeau, it's 7 degrees in that game, and from what I am being told, by my Chicago source, is that it is apparently colder. It feels a lot colder than what it actually looks. I think this is going to be a very heavy David Montgomery game. I get that Mitchell Trubisky has been slinging the rock lately, but I think he's going to have a little bit more of a difficult time in this matchup. So I'm probably gonna lean towards Pascal. Ty could very well stand a chance that he could re-aggravate injury. Last time that I think earlier in the season, it was earlier in the season when Ty first got injured and he was coming back, I said that he was going to re-aggravate it, and then sure enough, that happened 3 plays into the game.
That was going to happen, man. I talked about that the Week 12 preview, my injury previews, that Ty was not ready to come back, and then he just does it again. I don't think he's going to be active. So I guess I don't know if that. I sort of agree with what you're saying. I think it's when it's cold, man, it's tough to throw the ball around. But then you turn around, you look at the Saints play the Colts, and you sort of, I don't know, you scratch your head there because Saints defense isn't necessarily, immovable or anything like that. But man, that's a tough spot to be in for your flex, Anthony Miller or Zach Pascal. But yeah, I think I agree with you.
Yep. We got Sven up in the house. You want to go by Sven or Ant?
I don't care. Don't matter.
All right, Sven. We're going to go by what your public knows you as. What are you thinking here for Jet? He says, for my wide receiver 2, do I start Anthony Miller or Zach Pascal?
Is it PPR, my man? If it's PPR, honestly, I know you guys are probably – I think you guys were just talking about Zach Pascal, but I would go Anthony Miller just because of the way he's been playing lately and the fact that they've been using him a lot. I don't even know who the hell are the Bears playing?
Packers. That's what my man was just saying. The weather down there is what we're worried about. I don't know if you can see, but it's like coming down in Kansas City too.
Dude, Kansas City. Oh, so we just got a live shot from Kansas City. People,
live shot. Here, take another live shot again.
Oh my God. That's a lot of things. So that's a lot of things that people are talking about this morning. I saw I'm watching, I got, our friends over at ESPN, that Matthew Berry that I talk to all the time. They're talking about Mahomes, and like some people are wondering, do we start Tannehill or Mahomes? And I would be okay with starting Tannehill, to be honest, because the guy's been averaging like 24, 25 fantasy points since he's taken over as the starter. He's been insanely consistent. Mike Vrabel, if it's not Mike Tomlin, I think it's going to be Mike Vrabel as coach of the year. One of those two guys are going to win.
But I think that when you consider Ryan Tannehill versus Patrick Mahomes, you have to consider a couple things, like A, the talent. At the end of the day, Patrick Mahomes is more talented. And then B, I'm going to steal a stat that I heard from Jeff Ratcliffe on his podcast. What is it? I don't even remember what the name of this podcast is called. But he said that essentially since Ryan Tannehill has taken over, he's only averaging about 1 red zone throw per game. And if you correct that statistically, consistently successful quarterbacks, they have about 2.5. And so he says that even though it's impossible to predict, regression is coming at some point. Just know that if you are going to go Tannehill over Mahomes, that regression is going to hit him. Like even if it's in week 5, next year, or if it's today, regression's coming for Tannehill at some point. Something to consider.
Yeah, right. So Jets lead with the Anthony Miller Pascal question. That is 0.5 PPR.
Okay.
So does that change the analysis at all for you?
I don't know. Like you said, Colts secondary just got torched by Jameis Winston last week.
You hope that the targets Anthony Miller's been getting, if you go with Anthony Miller, are what make up for maybe the lack of like yardage and touchdowns.
Facts. True. Facts. Coming from someone, till this day, even at the age of 28, my body is still hurting. I still get out there on the field daily. I live here in Colorado Springs, and it's going to be coming down here in the next couple of minutes. And I tell you guys, it's very hard to keep traction and to get yards after the catch in snow. And even in the cold, it's kind of hard to move around. Look for they're showing warm-ups right now here from our good friends ESPN, and it looks extremely cold out there. I think that they may keep this on the ground. It's going to be a heavy running game. Let's see here. Miami Canes hops in the chat again and asks Chris Godwin, Allen Robinson, Cooper Kupp, Devontae Parker, pick 2. I'm going to start this one off, and I'm just going to be quick with it. Godwin and Kupp, done.
I got to go Godwin and Parker, man.
See, Godwin shouldn't even be in the conversation. I mean, he's a must start.
Right.
So but whatever. Cooper Kupp hasn't done crap. You don't know about that offense. Devontae Parker, the only thing I'm worried about is his damn concussion. He screwed me last week in one league, but he's got a matchup like no other.
I will say that he's at an elevated risk this week for a reconcussion. It doesn't always happen, but you have seen it already with Brandon Cooks, Sterling Shepard. There are a few other guys this year that they've got one and then they got another. So I'm not saying it will happen, but he is for this week specifically a little more of an elevated risk. But I mean, you're in the playoffs at this point, man. You're risking for the biscuit now. So yeah. That wouldn't be something that holds me back personally.
So yeah, I agree with you then.
I'm like
Parker and Godwin.
Yeah, I'm super conservative with stuff like that. Devontae Parker, I'm fading just for the simple fact that I feel like one little even nick on the helmet, and he's back in the blue tank. You know,
that's realistic, man. That's definitely realistic.
Yeah,
can't argue there.
Yeah, hopefully you have something else, and especially if you guys have been following our show heavily. Hopefully we prepared you better than that.
Hopefully we prepared you better than that. No offense, Miami Canes Productions.
Yeah, he says Prescott and Winston are on his team, but on waivers he has Brady, Josh Allen, Brissett. Should he pick any of them up? I'm gonna say no.
We'll go Winston. You start Winston this week.
Yeah,
that's
the only thing about Winston is the thumb. We never worry about Ryan Griffin. All year we haven't worried about Ryan Griffin replacing James Winston. This week, however, and then we see the 5 picks or the 5 picks, 5 touchdowns, and you're happy, whatever, doesn't matter. But this week specifically, with that fracture that he's got in his hand, it's more than likely that his fine motor control is going to be impaired. They're playing in, where are they playing? Tampa plays.
It's either Detroit, so it's either in a dome or it's in beautiful.
Oh, that's right. It's in a dome. That's right. Okay, so it won't matter. The cold won't matter. But that thumb is at a risk for – he doesn't even have to get hit in the hand. Like, he can follow through, hit another player's helmet, his own offensive lineman's helmet, and that's going to send a zinger all the way up. It's going to potentially cause some neural tension is what it's called, and it's going to knock him out for the rest of the game. We're going to see Ryan Griffin finish. Just know, sort of similar with, like, Devontae Parker and the other injuries we talked about, just know that's a risk with James this week, more so than any other week, is that he could be pulled because of the pain, because he re-aggravates the thumb, because it is a fracture at the end of the day.
True. He got taken out last week, and then he came back and I think threw for like 3 more touchdowns.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was nuts. That's what I'm saying, though. Is like the dude. It's risk reward with Winston.
And Josh Allen has a tough matchup this week against the Steelers, and then Brady. I don't even think he's like a. It's funny enough, he's still the number 12 quarterback in fantasy, I think.
I know, that's nuts.
Yeah. Which is ridiculous.
Let's see here. Jet also asked, and then we got like the chat is like rolling actually pretty well.
You're welcome. It was my like follow me, guys.
Well, he got that for us. He's tweeted it out. Hell yeah. Jet also asked, I can pick up from free agency Deontay Johnson, James Washington, Sammy Watkins, or Russell Gage. Do you guys like any of those options more than Anthony Miller or Pascal?
Maybe. Not Sammy.
Maybe
not Russell Gage. If I'm looking at either, I'm looking at Deontay Johnson or James Washington. But they both had good games. But here's the thing: they're playing Buffalo, and Buffalo's defense is stout. They stop wide receivers, so you don't know. I mean, they both could have monster games, but that's tough. They're playing. I mean, Buffalo has a very, very good defense.
Aside from Pittsburgh's defense, I'm all out on Pittsburgh's skill positions for this week.
James Conner, maybe. Which, thanks for coming back this week, dude. Thanks for coming back this week. I could have used you last week.
I'm not digging it, especially against the Bills defense. Those of you guys that saw the Pick'em show earlier in the week with Raj, our homie Raj from ESPN Los Angeles. That time, that's not a joke. That's actually a homie from. I had mentioned. I mentioned that this is going to be a very low-scoring game. Vegas has this as a low-scoring game, which I feel that there's not going to be a whole lot of work to go around. If anything, it will be within, James Conner, which I even have James Conner as a low-end, RB3 in that backfield just because he is coming off that injury.
Yeah, he's a risk. He's definitely a risk coming off that injury.
Hey, so, random different question. Is DJ Shark Juju playing today?
No, he's inactive. He's inactive, and he's probably not coming back next week.
Right? Okay. All right. I just got a question someone was asking on Twitter. Danny Amendola, Chris Conley, or D.D. Westbrook?
Man, you guys are in some spots down there. Jeez.
Well, he also had Amari Cooper and Sterling Shepard, but we've seen when Amari is matched up against a top cornerback, Dak doesn't throw to him. Like, he didn't do anything against Darius Slay, and he didn't do anything against Stephon Gilmore. You know what I mean? So it's Sterling Shepard, Eli Manning. You don't know who the hell he's going to throw to. It could be Golden Tate's week. It could be Evan Ingram.
Plus, it's Eli Manning.
Right? I don't know. So my guess would be Danny Amendola. I feel like Amendola could be the safer because they're playing.
I think Amendola's safe. Yeah,
right?
I think Amendola's the safest one.
Yeah, Amendola's the safest one in that one. King Vibes here on YouTube. As I am in the playoffs right now, and I have Odell, Keenan Allen, Sterling Shepard, and Slayton. Which two should I start? And everyone that's new, make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel, by the way. Edwin, you want to start this one off?
Yeah, I don't know how you're starting Sterling Shepard, to be honest with you. And I don't know how you're not start. I know how it sounds, but I don't know how you're not starting Odell. The dude is just. So first of all, he's got this hip injury, this groin injury, right? So in week 2, he came on the injury report with a hip. You saw that after their bye, I think it was week 7 or 8 or something. It switched to a groin, and that's because they had the med staff had time to do an actual thorough evaluation, see what was going on. They brought him into the PT room. They was like, "Hey, tell me what's bothering you." They did some tests, and they declared that it was a groin issue. Which, when it's a groin issue, you think sports hernia. Sports hernia is a really, really broad term. It really just means like a muscle that attaches from your leg to your pelvis, your abs to your pelvis. Super, super broad term. But essentially what it means is that it's really difficult to run. I mean, bottom line for a receiver, it's the same injury Deshaun Jackson had. It's the same injury Calvin Ridley has. So the fact that he's been dealing with this openly, like I wouldn't be surprised if he has surgery in the offseason, first of all. So honestly, at this point, I know it sounds insane, but if you're in the playoffs and you're not here because of Odell. So I wouldn't shy away from starting Keenan Allen and Darius Slayton. Long story short, sorry.
And Evan Ingram is inactive. So I don't know if that also helps a little bit. Just saw that. But Keenan Allen, I think for sure. And then that's tough. Maybe Slayton, I don't know, but OBJ. Oh, here's the thing: OBJ hasn't had monster games at all. Like I feel like Baker loves throwing to Landry a lot more than he does OBJ. Like you know what I mean? Injury aside, like it's just Landry has been his number one guy, but then Odell could have that. Who are they playing today? They're playing the Cardinals. Good God.
That's why that's part of me is like you gotta kind of roll with Odell in that one.
Secondary is atrocious. It's bad. They're giving up 311 yards through the air. I think it's like the worst, one of the worst.
Is their best defensive back. When you have a guy named Buda Baker, best defensive back, things are getting pretty sad pretty quick. I gotta go with Odell, and I'm rolling with Slayton. When Keenan Allen, when you're out here on Twitter apologizing for your fantasy performances, when you have a quarterback with a noodle arm, maybe I don't know where all of Phillip Rivers' arm strength went. Probably from him and his wife.
But went to his hips, man. All his arm strength goes to his hips.
Hip action,
kids, bro.
The hip action. So I mean, I'm going with Slayton and Odell. By the way, check out the Darius Slayton interview if you haven't.
I'll have to catch up. I'll figure it. I'll watch that.
Hell yeah.
Perryman is even a question.
Yep. Anthony Miller, Perryman, Tyler Boyd, or Pascal.
Well,
depends. It depends to me anyway, what you need. If you're
PPR.
sitting there and you're like in a 2 week matchup and you're way down, I mean, I think you have to throw out Perryman at least, and then maybe Boyd to even it out. But even then, Boyd's got a tough matchup this week. God, those are
right
because
he's gonna have Stephon Gilmore on him.
Exactly. He might shut him down for a goose egg.
It is Andy Dalton, and Andy Dalton he's not a terrible quarterback. Like it's just like if it was the other guy, what the hell, Ryan Finley or whatever, if he was playing, then I wouldn't even look at Boyd. I would maybe lean Anthony Miller and Tyler Boyd, because the thing about the Bucks, Cameron Brate could go off for 155 yards and 3 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Okay, how? Like you don't know. It's going to be Chris Godwin, which I'm praying it's Chris Godwin, and then whoever else. So I think, but then again, I mean, just because he's going to be matched up, but I think Andy Dalton's still going to throw to him. They got nothing to play for, so who the hell cares? For them at least, I'm saying for them. But Anthony Miller, Boyd for me still, even based on the matchup.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Anthony Miller, Boyd. My reasoning why I'm mentioning Boyd, I pretty much have kind of expressed my reasoning behind Anthony Miller this week, guys. But as far as Boyd, teams that, excuse how I put this, suck late in the season like to play a spoiler. So look for some of those spoiler teams to go off. That's why you guys are suddenly, running around trying to get Devontae Parker, and you're looking at all these different receivers. Now basically, in most cases, at the beginning of the season, were no-name guys. So just wanted to toss that out there. I mean, Tyler Boyd has not been no-name by any means, but he's pretty much on a no-name team.
Right.
Putting in big work.
That's a tough – man, these flex questions are tough.
Dude.
Between some dust.
Sounds like some Mike Evans, Calvin Ridley owners.
DJ Chark, Calvin Ridley owners. That's right, yeah.
Support the show in real life, guys. Rumboyz.com. Head to Rumboyz.com. Use promo code Rumboyz for free shipping on all merch items. Get you guys a shirt. We even got ugly Christmas sweaters. Let's see here. King Vibes. I never benched Odell, but he's been so ass for me that I don't know anymore. That's more of an opinion. Let's see here. Leafs defense is bum. Yes, the Leafs do suck. They have no defense. Tyler Higbee or Jared Cook?
Cook is playing. Oh boy,
Higbee's been balling out.
How are they exactly? He's been destroying it. I'm checking up right now about the Cowboys against the tight end and what they're giving up.
I think that Jared Cook definitely is still at a higher risk for reconcussion, just like Devontae Parker is.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in a spot where you're like, you need points, you need guaranteed points, and you don't necessarily need an upside or anything like that, I'd probably go Higbee here. I think that the Cowboys defense is as talented as they are. They have no leadership. They don't know what's going on. They're missing tackles. They don't high five their coach who's clapping on the sideline for them constantly the whole game, all 4 quarters, clapping. So
I wait to not see that on the sideline.
I think the Rams are coming into form. And we're starting to see the old Rams, 18 Rams. So I think Higbee here for me anyway.
Yeah, I would go Higbee too. They're both giving up the same amount of fantasy points to tight ends, but Higbee has the safest floor.
Yeah, I'm going Higbee as well. Yeah, there's no reason to not. There's absolutely positively reason to not. Jared Cook or Austin Hooper. Wait, crazy mofo, are you wait, is this question to go up against first off?
Crazy mofo.
Right away. This better not be to go up against me. I'll let the fellas answer this one because my analysis might be biased.
I mean, Austin Hooper's healthy. I feel like you can't sit Austin Hooper. I mean, the guy, he was the number 1 tight end before he got hurt.
Yeah, I think I got to go Hooper here. If it's Jared Cook versus Austin Hooper, I'm probably going Hooper.
And I understand that they're playing the Niners, but, I mean, Drew Brees, look at what he did last week. Matt Ryan's good. He's a very talented quarterback. I'm not like – I would go Hooper.
Okay. And when you going Hooper as well?
I'm going Hooper.
Okay, maybe my analysis isn't going to be biased. Yeah, go Hooper. But if you beat me somehow, oh my gosh. By the way, guys, Crazy Mofo, very, very long time family member of the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. Shout out that dude. He's put up one hell of a fight. I'm in 2 leagues with him, and gosh. Please help me. I need 3 full PPR. Hill, Devontae Adams, and Julio or Cooper Kupp.
You need 3. Hill, Devontae, Julio, or Kupp. I don't think you go Kupp here. Kupp played like 34% of the snaps last week, and I think that he played like 34% of the snaps the week before. I think that the lack of production from Cooper Kupp is strictly from his lack of snaps. For whatever reason, they figured something out. McVay saw something, and they're playing a lot of 12 personnel, and so they've got 2 tight ends on the field. Kupp's just not seeing the field. And I'm pretty sure he's got like the same amount of snaps as Brandon Cooks, which we've seen Brandon Cooks. So, I mean, if you're not on the field, you can't get opportunity. So I think I'm going Hill, Devontae, and Julio here.
Yeah, same.
Oh yeah. The only person I'm dropping out of that order is Kupp.
Yep.
Wow, he's LOL. It's against you, Robbie. Thanks. That's what we're here for.
Take your question elsewhere.
By the way, guys, if you have any of the commenters, if you have injury questions, hit me up. That's my expertise. That's my true expertise. I got a little bit of fantasy chops, but if you have injury questions, let me know.
Yes, and that's really what we have here, especially to kind of hit on some of these things with the injuries. Because I've spoken on it before, players go out there and they re-aggravate things. Things happen, and with just a little bit of research, you can avoid that.
Yeah, exactly.
Brady, Ryan, or Goff?
Man,
that's preseason. That would have been like, wow, all right, take your pick. But right now, I'm just like, oh boy.
It's take your pick in the other direction though. Brady, Ryan, or Goff in the preseason would have been like, oh man, you can't make the wrong option. You can't make the wrong choice. And now it's like you could definitely make the wrong choice here.
So my question to you that I propose first, Mr. Zach Bridwell, is Ryan Tannehill is still only 60%, 60.4%.
Yeah, is he available?
Can you do none of those? That's what you're saying.
Because if not, then I mean, check a Goff against the Cowboys.
Yeah, maybe Cowboys secondary. They've been susceptible. Matt Ryan could struggle this week against the Niners. But then again, Calvin Ridley being out, I think definitely hurts. But he does have Austin Hooper back. They got Devonta back. Good God! And the Pats are playing the Bengals, who are just atrocious.
You know what, Zach Bridwell? If you have to pick between Tom Brady, Matt Ryan, and Jared Goff, let's go Tom Brady. Let's just go the GOAT. Let's default. Let's just say GOAT.
Tannehill's gone.
Okay.
2, 3 are the best options unless you like Minshew.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Just default to the GOAT, I guess.
If Gardner if they didn't sit him after his hot start, I would have definitely said Minshew.
Yeah.
But he is on a hardcore cold streak right now. I actually got a one-off question, another one from Twitter. If you want to help me, one of our followers out there, he's got pick one wide receiver: Allen Robinson, Stephon Diggs, or OBJ.
Allen Robinson, Stephon Diggs, OBJ.
PPR. That's tough.
Stephon Diggs, OBJ, and we can only pick one.
Adam Thielen is back, but the Chargers defense has been. I don't think Desmond King is playing this week either. I think he's inactive too.
Man, I think you got to to me anyway. You got to default to the matchup, and you got to go OBJ, especially because of like what we talked about with the weather in Chicago already.
Because they're playing.
I think you go OBJ.
I guess I could see that. Yeah. All right.
Yep. For the matchup, I'm rolling OBJ. I think OBJ he has to go off this week, and Cleveland has to find a way to keep him happy so they can keep him there. So they're probably going to force feed him these last couple of games. I'm trying Oh, go ahead.
And then he was asking one more: Singletary or Mostert?
Oh man,
right? I feel like that's a good situation.
The thing about Mostert is that you at any point, I mean, this could be a Matt Breida game, you know.
Mostert is going to start. He is the starter now. I know that.
It could turn into Jeff Wilson rushing the ball 3 times for 4 touchdowns. Like you just don't know with 49ers. Like it's a volatile situation.
Singletary's been solid. They've been giving him the ball a lot lately.
I'd probably go Singletary.
I feel like you have to pick the lesser of two evils here, and what I mean by that, and what I'm stating with that, is that you would Atlanta is ranked 12th against the running back, whereas Singletary is going up against the 6th ranked Steelers.
They're both in the same area, pretty much. They're both giving up the same amount, even through the air and on the ground. It looks like.
I think that I'm going to go with the back that's going up against Atlanta, and that's going to be Mostert.
Yeah, Mostert's been killing it. He's been on fire. He is on fire lately.
Yeah. So I mean that's what I'm rocking with.
I don't hate it.
Here's my question, okay? And one of my leagues, a league that everyone doubted me in. They didn't think that I was going to make it as far. And we're in the semis now. We're a step away from a Super Bowl. For my flex spot, I have options of Odell or AP.
Odell or AP?
I removed Tevin Coleman. AP is guaranteed work, and he's close to a 1,000-yard season.
I think the AP option by you might be a little biased because of the shirt that you're wearing right now.
AP will get guaranteed work, but you got to remember I think this was the game last year where he carried the ball like 12 times, and he had like 100 and some like 7 or 8 yards or something, but he had that 96-yard long run and didn't have anything else other than that.
They're playing Eagles.
He's always capable of that, obviously. But I guess, yeah, I think if you think it's standard or like even half PPR, you probably go Peterson here. I don't disagree.
They have stopped the run though. Like last week, they actually stopped Saquon, the Eagles. They stopped Miami. Well, Miami can't run the ball. Seattle, I think they actually did a decent job at stopping them. Let me check that. Actually, no, I take that back. Rashad Penny destroyed them. I don't know. I can see that going either way. I would go Odell. It's tough. It's tough to put it in a wide receiver because the running back gets the opportunities. But then again, I could see AP having like a 40-yard game.
Yeah, very much so, especially with Philly fighting for a top spot in the East.
Yeah.
So let me on a 2-game winning streak.
If you don't mind me interrupting here, I'm going to get ahead of this one because I'm going to get a lot of Twitter questions about it. So Jay Glazer reports that the Chiefs are, quote, nervous about Patrick Mahomes suffering further damage to his injured throwing hand. Per Glazer, Mahomes' injury was pain on the outside of the hand, and it was black and blue on both sides. Glazer reports that Mahomes was struggling to grip the ball until Thursday, but was slinging it on Friday. He's not going to re-injure it. He's not going to cause further damage. Like, that's not really a thing unless you have a fracture or a dislocation or some major injury. When you think re-aggravate, it just means more pain. So considering that it's on the outside of his hand, the ulnar side, he's got bruising on it. Some quarterbacks don't even use their pinky to throw the ball, so don't worry about it. I just wanted to get ahead of that one.
Nice. I'm glad that you got ahead of that one. Allen Robinson or Devontae Parker?
Parker for me.
Parker.
Yeah, we're going to be unanimous on this one. Parker. Like I said, those teams like to play spoiler right now.
If he's healthy, I mean, that Giants secondary is just, oh my God. And even the fact that they cut Janoris Jenkins, which it doesn't help because he was atrocious as well. But I just think that adds to it to just show how bad they are. They don't care. They don't. They should have cut everyone. They really should have brought up like the practice squad guys and gave them a chance.
Did you see that tweet where I don't even know who put it out? One of the verified blue check mark reporters, one of our friends here at Rumboyz Fantasy, he put out some like video from, I think, when the Chiefs played the Raiders. By the way, I was at that game. That was a fun game. Honey Badger like ran straight into the offensive tackle, and the offensive tackle literally picked him up like a kid and just like threw him. And so this reporter tweeted like Honey Badger me blah blah blah, the name of the lineman. And Tyrann Mathieu, he quote tweeted it and he said, "Honey Badger don't care," and I thought that was hilarious. I laughed out loud at that.
Oh, damn! So the Seahawks defense is looking depleted today. Jadeveon Clowney is out. Ziggy Ansah is out.
Oh boy,
out. Shaquille Griffin out.
Who are they playing?
Panthers.
And I think I have the Seahawks defense in the lineup.
Yep, same here.
Brutal.
In our listener league up against our boy Riff Raff over there.
Oh, shout out to Riff Raff.
Can't lose to that boy. I'll never hear the end of it.
Yeah, if you lose to him, he's gonna go straight to Twitter. Let's see. Derrick Henry active. Will Fuller active. Jameis Winston active. Edelman active. Noah Fant active. Bo Scarborough inactive. Damian Williams inactive. Devontae Parker active. Jimmy Graham active.
No surprises. I like it.
Oh yeah, I'm just trying to get our last minutes here, and I think I had some questions also as well this morning. There's one specific question I'm trying to scroll through and look for. Bro, was this
Tennessee's defense or Seattle defense?
Tennessee's defense or Seattle's defense?
Tennessee the last 3 weeks. Here's Tennessee's the last 3 weeks. 10, 24, and 13.
Here's the thing. Here, let me put it this way. I got a heavy amount of Deshaun Watson in DFS this week. Maybe that's a good thing for your take. Maybe it's a good thing for my take. I don't know. But I'm using a lot of Deshaun Watson this week.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I'm actually starting Deshaun Watson in a league where Tannehill is available.
I'm starting Drew Brees over Deshaun Watson in the listener league.
I got a question for you guys. Is this Godwin thing? Are we overvaluing Chris Godwin as a wide receiver one? Like, we know he's going to get targets, but if Jameis is volatile and the offense is just Ryan Griffin could potentially come in, isn't there a narrative here where Chris Godwin just busts?
I just don't see it. Maybe it's because I came into the season being a Chris Godwin truther.
Oh yeah, no, trust me too. I'm all over it.
Yeah, like I've literally used Chris Godwin in multiple episodes this season as a "I told you so" example.
That's fair. I just wanted to throw it out there, little devil's advocate. That's all.
No, I don't think so. Jeremy Hansman says start Darius Slayton. Is that like a question? Like, is that
over who?
Yeah.
What are your other options, my man?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Greg Ward, who the hell are you?
I think that we actually like knocked out all the questions. We were supposed to go through like every game by game, but the chat just like as soon as we went live, the chat was just like boom, like everybody had a question.
A lot of injuries, a lot of replacements,
a lot of injuries. Do you want to kind of maybe go through a few of those, Edwin?
Yeah, man, I can do that for you. All right, so let's see here. I'll open it up. A lot of these are so there were no surprise inactives. So let me go through my season-long one here. I'm going to open it up, and I think the first that we've already talked enough about Jameis Winston, so we won't touch on that. But the concussion guys, I do want to emphasize. So Devontae Parker and Jared Cook, those dudes are a little more volatile this week than normal. If you need guaranteed production and you have like a Jared Cook and Austin Hooper, I'd probably go Austin Hooper. Ooh, let's talk about Josh Jacobs though. So here's the deal about Josh Jacobs. Like for whatever reason, I don't know why. People at the beginning of the week were super optimistic about him playing. They said that he looks great. There are reports coming out of practice saying that he looks great. Well, the dude was limited in practice. So he was playing against air. He was running jump cuts. He was going through individual drills. He was rehabbing on the side. When reporters were saying that he looked good, he wasn't taking any contact. And when you have a shoulder fracture like Josh Jacobs has, that's a contact injury. So you don't really know what he looks like until he takes contact. So that's something to consider. He was a limited participant all week. And then you see that the Vic Tafer, I don't know how to say his name, Tafer, friend of the show, again, verified reporter. He said he had a conversation with Josh Jacobs, and the whole tone of the conversation was basically Jacobs like putting on a face like he was going to play.
Yep.
And it was notable to me that he said usually by Thursday the shoulder bounces back, which means this has been going on all year. Yep. And he said that this week it didn't. And that just goes to show that injuries, when they linger, they don't get better in the NFL, they get worse.
Right.
The very last thing that I'll mention about it too is that at the very last tweet in the string of tweets by this guy, he said, and then Jacobs tried to put on his sweatshirt, which was a struggle.
Why are they playing him?
He can't put a sweater on.
Why are they playing him? I don't understand.
I have no idea why they're playing him, man. I would shut him down.
It makes no sense. DeAndre actually did pretty solid last week.
Yeah, he did.
He was a very serviceable running back, and they used him in the passing game, which I was a little upset about Jalen Richard.
Yeah, I was too. I think I used him in the lineup. Richard.
I didn't start him, but I was just like, they never used DeAndre. Like when they had those two guys, DeAndre would always get the runs, and then Jalen Richard would get the passes. But I think we got some more questions coming in.
Yeah, we do. Just to add some validity, though, to what Edwin just had mentioned, I've met the guy, seen the guy. Guys, check out the Josh Jacobs interview. He's the most innocent person. He's not that great of a liar. Positively believe 100% everything that you're stating. Let's see. Millie Tings asks, Tyler Lockett or Michael Gallup, standard league. Also subscribe to the channel, bro, if you're new. What we thinking, fellas? I'll let you go first.
I like Gallup, to be honest.
Yep.
Just because Amari may get shut down by Jalen Ramsey, and I think that Dak is going to have to use Cobb and Gallup a little bit more today.
I think I got to go Tyler Lockett, but I have this is a toss-up. But I'm going to go Lockett because shout out Kansas State. That's where I graduated. He was a senior. Last year they won the Big 12 championship with Bill Snyder. That was my freshman year. So I got a lot of feels. About Tyler Lockett.
So you're running out Lockett's 5, 4, 0, and 8 fantasy point performances the last 4 weeks.
Number one in my heart, though. Number one right here. This is my one bias call of the week.
I'm going with Gallup just simply based off of production. But I do not blame you if you do go for the big or bust play of Tyler Lockett. The fact that Carolina absolutely positively has zero secondary. I could go out there and play corner and do a better job.
Probably.
Then again, I've also obsessed over Tyler Lockett film, so there's that too. I probably know what the dude is gonna do. Let's see here: Tyreek Hill, DK Metcalf, John Smoke Brown, or Jarvis Landry. Pick 2.
Tyreek and Jarvis.
Yeah.
I think.
Tyreek and Jarvis.
John Brown's got a pretty tough matchup. The Steelers, Minka Fitzpatrick. The Steelers have a very underrated secondary. Like their defense is part of the reason why they're 8-5 or whatever their record is right now, of potentially winning even that division. But Tyreek and Jarvis, even with the weather in Kansas City.
So I have a question from Twitter. Actually, ironically enough, this is from one of the writers of my staff. He says, my opponent, Fantasy Football Peacock, asks, my opponent is starting Wilson at quarterback and Ertz at tight end, 0.5 PPR. Who should I start at tight end? Dallas Goedert or Hollister?
I don't think it matters on who he's starting, but Goddard may be the safer choice, I feel like, because they don't have who's the wide receivers. Like he's Greg Ward is the wide receiver 1 for Philly right now. Like I think that Goddard, they were using 3 tight end sets last week. Who does that?
I think you're right. I don't think it matters who you start, but
Hollister's non-existent.
Hollister gets a lot of looks. The Seahawks really like throwing to the tight end, so I guess I'll go Hollister.
Yeah, I feel like I'm leaning. This is one of those like my gut is telling me Hollister, just because I feel like I think this is me looking at the film aspect of it, and when I look at film study, Hollister has better hands than Goddard. Goddard has some drops out there, and when he drops, they're pretty bad. I feel like Hollister's going to secure a lot more of his targets, and also with that for Hollister, I mean, he's going up against Carolina. Like, I just feel like he's going to eat. I just feel like it's a day that the Seahawks are probably going to. I know that Vegas is favoring by 6, but I think they could even beat him, by 10, maybe even 14. They could beat him by 2 touchdowns or even a touchdown, a field goal.
Yep.
Dallas Goedert has been averaging like 7 targets the past 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Jacob Hollister has been averaging. He got 4, 8, and 6. So he really but he's only got like 2, 6, and 4 catches. So he hasn't really done that much. I mean, it could be a Chris Carson type of day.
I hope so.
I just think that Dallas Goedert's ceiling's capped because he's either way, even if he's getting that many targets, he's still he's never really given what's his ceiling? Like legitimately, what's his highest score this year?
I'll tell you in a sec.
I had him and I actually dropped him in the Listeners League, I think, like early in the season.
So like his most points he got was 14.
Yeah, I think that's sort of his cap. Whereas I think Hollister's dropped like 2 or 3 touchdown passes. I think it was a Niners game where Hollister could have balled out, but I think he dropped a pass or 2 or something.
Well, Russell also missed him on that wide open.
Yeah,
that was god awful.
Management Fantasy Football. What is going on, Justin? Thank you for hopping up in here, man. One of the brother pods of the Rumboyz Fantasy Network. Let's see here.
I got a question for you two, and you being the doctor over there. So this is a 10 team. It's just straight up points, and you're probably going to go crazy like with the wide receivers that we actually have. But, well, we got Nick Chubb, Saquon Barkley, and Todd Gurley as our running backs, right? And then Chris Godwin as our 1 wide receiver, right? So, and then here's the wide receivers we're thinking: Julian Edelman, Kenny Golladay, AJ Brown, or Cooper Kupp. Who would you start out of those guys? Just pick one.
Damn.
Right?
Okay, so say the first 3 again, because not Kupp.
Edelman, Kenny Golladay, AJ Brown.
Probably not Brown either. He's volatile. So it comes down to Edelman or Golladay, and it depends what you want. I think if you want a safe floor, Edelman, I know he's on the injury report. I'm not concerned about the dude. But if you want like a safe floor, Edelman's been a monster of the targets. But if you want like a ceiling game, like could go off for like 110 yards and 2 touchdowns, I think Galladay's your man. So it depends what you want.
Right. And Marvin Jones is out. Tampa's secondary is atrocious. But David Bluff, whatever the hell you want to call him, he's atrocious too.
Unexpected David Blowjob.
Yeah, dude. And so when I saw that was that dude's name, like I had no idea, of course, who the Lions team was.
Right.
So I get the tweet from Sheffy. I get the alert, and I'm just like, David, what? Who? The NFL is just now trying to purposely create memes for the internet now.
Yeah, they really are.
I clearly just got drafted for meme purposes.
It's all a simulation, man.
Let's see, Edelman. Yeah. Okay. So. He was
saying Edelman. We have Edelman in right now, and we've basically played Edelman the entire season. I mean, he's right behind, I believe, Michael Thomas as far as targets go.
Yeah, I don't see how you don't go Edelman here.
Yeah, it's funny. Asked Tannehill or Winston. By the way, I love that avatar, bro. That is fucking hilarious.
Tannehill or Winston? Honestly, I mean, take your pick.
I
think they're both going to do good, but here's the thing. Yeah, the Bucks could be up by so much that Winston, they may either rest him or they could be running it with Rojo and Peyton Barber. Whereas Tannehill, this is a very, very important game for them to beat Houston. They need to, which I think they're going to. So yeah, I would go Tannehill, I guess. Yeah. But don't listen to me. I started Ryan Fitzpatrick over Tannehill, over Jameis last week, and I ended up losing. So
Oh man, that's brutal.
Yeah, I have a couple leagues where I'm rolling with Tannehill for like the first time, because like early in the season, I was winning games with who I had, but then like I think I kind of bought into the analytics very heavily, and I was just like, let's toss away Goff. Like we don't need it. Like I know that you've been winning for me, but no, we're just gonna get rid of you. And guys, keep in mind too, that everyone's fantasy situation is different.
Right.
Like Sven just mentioned from the Fantasy Fan, which by the way, guys, make sure you guys subscribe to his podcast. You guys are not on YouTube yet, but you guys are on
we just strictly podcast right now, and then we live stream on like StreamYard on Sunday mornings. But it was only me, so I figured I'd reach out to my boy over there, Robbie.
Hell yeah!
But yeah, we're on. I mean, follow us on Twitter at the Fantasy Fam. It's right here. You can see it right there. Is that it? I strategically placed the T-shirt right there, and we are going to be doing a giveaway for some T-shirts and some koozies. So, I mean, it's going to be real easy. All you got to do is just give us a 5-star rating on iTunes, send us a screenshot. Done.
I strategically placed the snow.
Dude, I'm in Texas right now, and it's going to be like 70 degrees today. I am so jealous. I'm originally from New York, and I miss the snow.
Oh yeah, my wife loves the snow.
It better snow.
I'm from BC, so I'm used to this. I live in Colorado now. We get all 5 seasons in a day. Yesterday it was like really warm, and now today
I was in Colorado Springs this summer for 8 weeks. Man, if I needed my winter coat and my freaking flip flops in the same day, it's crazy.
Yo, hey, next time you come out here, bro, we'll have to chill.
Yeah,
I was. Sure. Yeah, we were planning on coming out to Colorado, but we're in the process of potentially buying a house, which means I won't be doing anything for the next like 2 years.
That's exactly what that
means.
But that does. Let's see here.
Hot take. Yeah, hell yeah, bro. I'll definitely come on your show, my man.
Yeah. Hey. Of course, you guys got to definitely check out Clock Management Fantasy Football. They are dope.
Tannehill over Mahomes. I mean, it's not crazy. It's really not. Mahomes has not been that good of a fantasy quarterback for the past like 8 weeks. It's just, I think I pulled up Fantasy Pros. Okay, so from week 9 to 14, Ryan Tannehill has been the number 7 quarterback. Patrick Mahomes has been the number 21.
Just got to be okay with.
It's not that crazy.
You got to be okay with Mahomes regressing back to his average this week. That's sort of. I think that's like what we talked about before. Like if you're cool with watching Mahomes rush for a touchdown and throw 4 today, because that's the potential, that's the ceiling. We know that. If you're cool with seeing that on your bench, go for it.
And then the weather. That's the thing too. It's all about the weather because if it's going to continue to snow during that game. All right, you know what? Maybe I'm not going to start Mahomes, but if it's going to stop right before the game, then yeah, you fire up Mahomes definitely.
Isn't it? They kick off at noon, I think.
One more thing that I want to talk about, and then we're going to get into you guys is what you guys got going on in your shows, your podcasts, where people can follow you, all that good stuff. One thing that I did want to talk about, it kind of just popped in my head. A lot of our colleagues in the industry have in the last 48 hours, damn near, flip their takes and their opinions on one AJ Brown out of Tennessee. I am still rolling with my take at the beginning of the week that I am still high on AJ Brown. As long as Tannehill is doing well, then Brown is going to do well. What are you guys thinking? I've heard a lot of flip-flopping happening this morning.
That's a tough one, man. Sort of because it goes back to the stat that I mentioned earlier from Jeff Ratcliffe about the end zone throws. Like that 93-yard bomb was nice, but you can't expect that every week. I think that AJ Brown is good. I think he's a good receiver, but the streakiness, I don't think the streakiness is going away anytime soon. Maybe until he gets into the offseason, watches film, breaks down with his coach, works on his routes. I mean, he's definitely a good player. Don't get me wrong, but I think that the offense, the ecosystem of the offense itself is what helps Ryan Tannehill chug along, and I think that AJ Brown just plays a role in that, if that makes sense.
So he's been averaging about 5.5 targets the last 3 games. AJ Brown. So he's getting it, but then it also goes back to, like you said, as good as Tannehill is, and he threw 18, 22, and 27 attempts those last 3 games.
Right. Yeah.
So he's not really throwing the ball as much, but then when you look at it, AJ Brown, he's getting a good percentage of the throws that he's making. So shame on you, Derrick Henry, for playing so well. You know what I mean? That's like taking away passes, but Tannehill doesn't need to throw the ball that much. Mind you, he threw for, last week 391 yards against Oakland. One of us could have thrown for 390 yards against Oakland.
Yeah.
They're playing Houston, whose secondary has been very susceptible. Like, I think AJ Brown could be a solid DraftKings play this week. I don't know what his money is, but like you said, Houston, like Drew Lock beat up on them last week, and Tannehill is better than Drew Lock. Plus, he has a couple more weapons than him. You know. Mm-hmm. But I don't know the streakiness. Like, I really hope AJ Brown becomes that more consistent because he's a big boy. He's talented. He's young. He's fast. Like, he could be a wide receiver 1 next year if he can get away from that streakiness.
He's just a rookie, right?
Yeah.
He's going to be a beast.
I got to release his interview tomorrow morning for the YouTube faithful.
Nice. Yeah, dude.
Dude, I can't believe I've taken so long doing that. But
get on your shit.
Yeah, I just wanted to kind of feel that. What was that?
I said, get on your shit.
I know, right? Bad CEO, bad. No, I appreciate the opinions. I'm rolling with them. I'm actually even rolling with them in a stack scenario in a league. I'm betting. I'm risking it. I'm risking it for the biscuit. So I appreciate you guys, making me feel better about it. He gets a lot of yak, and I think that's what makes, like you said, 5 targets on average. I think that the yards after the catch is what's making him appealing into the eyes of analysts. I think that's what's really making him appealing to me is that he gets decent yards after the catch. He can break a tackle and get you an extra 10 after the catch. So I love it. Other than that, let's start off with Edwin, the student doc. Where can the people find you? Tell them what you specialize in. Run through it all, man.
Yeah, so for anybody wondering, I'm a doctor of student. I graduated in May, starting residency in July. I play a ton of fantasy football. I'm not just sort of an outsider looking in. So catch me on Twitter. That's my main central hub where I put out a podcast every Saturday, and I put out injury articles every Wednesday, Saturday. So at FF Student Doc, if you don't already follow me, hit me up there. And I appreciate y'all having me on, by the way.
Yeah, dude, like I said, much anticipated. It was awesome. And our collab this morning all happened off of a Biggie tweet.
Exactly, because Biggie's the GOAT.
GOAT.
Biggie, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, the GOATs.
I love it. Man, holla at the people, man. Let the Rumboyz Nation let the Rumboyz Nation know where they can find you.
At the Fantasy Fam. You can see it right back here. Look at that. Boom. Strategically placed. It's me, my brother, and my cousin, hence the Fantasy Fam. Follow us. We like to make you part of our family. We're strictly fantasy football. That's all we talk about. We love that shit. It's not our full-time jobs, but who the hell cares? We do it because we love it. Check out our website, thefantasyfam.com. There's not much going on right now with it, but in the off season, there definitely will be like our rankings and stuff like that. But we release at least one podcast a week. Typically, we record Tuesday nights for like Wednesday, but some weeks we do 2, and then we do live streams Sunday morning. But I'm with my boy Robbie over here. So,
and you had me on your show last week.
Yes. So yeah. Did you start Rashad Penny last week, my man?
What's that?
Did you start Rashad Penny last week?
No.
Oh man, I saw him go down, and I was like, "Oh god, oh man."
I won that one. Nah, Chris Carson. Guys, I appreciate both you gentlemen for joining the show. This was a great panel.
Kirk Cousins or Jameis Winston?
Cousins is safer.
Cousins is safer, actually. You're right. Cousins is very safe.
All right.
And he has Thielen back too. So even if Thielen goes out there and acts as a decoy, I think it works out for him.
Curtis Samuel or Anthony Miller?
Curtis Samuel's trash.
Yeah, he hasn't been good. He started off on fire.
Dude, I know, yeah. And then he took over the DJ Moore role where we don't know if he's a real receiver or not. You know, Steve Smith may have to smack the ish out of him.
Yeah. I got DeAndre, Christian Kirk, and Anthony Miller as the wide receivers in that one.
Ooh.
Well, Mike Evans went down, and then T.Y. Hilton has been T.Y. Hilton. So I'm not starting him.
We all know the roller coaster. But nah, guys, check me out for NFL Rum Zone Week 15. NFL Rum Zone, 7 hours of commercial-free football. I will be streaming. I'm literally going to run downstairs, grab a beer, and I'll be right back up for you guys.
Another quote. Continue. My bad.
I thank everyone for joining, and I hope that the Rumboyz faithful has a great rest of you guys' day.
Sweet. Appreciate you.
Yep.